Okay, we are live. Welcome back to the Black Carnivore live stream. I am so glad you all are here, and we have Arian here today. I'm really excited about that too. How you doing, Arian?
I'm great. How are you?
I am pretty good. I am pretty good. Um,
Nice.
yeah. So we so this week I wanted to kind of do a companion to what we did last week where I talked about, what I eat in a day. And I thought it would be really interesting to hear about it from a guy's perspective. So we are going to dig into what Arian eats in a week. What did you eat this week? Tell us.
All right. So I told you this was going to be interesting. Probably because I just finished. I'm looking at it now because I'm done eating, but I didn't finish it. But I had Burger King today. Um,
What?
yeah. Um,
Okay. Okay. How did that work? What was that like?
it's freaking great. I had a taste for a hamburger. I didn't feel like making one of my own. I don't have anything thawed anyway, so um, what I like there is either I'll normally either get a double whopper or a double stacker. So today was a double stacker, and I got like more than three quarters through it, and I'm done. Like eating
So
anymore would probably make me sick. Oh, and
so
I took the bun off. Yeah,
so it was just the burger and the cheese.
the burger, the cheese, the bacon, and there's stacker sauce, which is slightly sweet. So there's that on it.
That's what like a Thousand Island or like a basically a mix of ketchup and mayo.
Uh, More like Thousand Island than the ketchup and mayo. There's
Hmm.
some other flavor in there.
Uh-huh. Thousand Island is ketchup and mayo and relish.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely closer to that than to
Okay.
Russian, which is just the ketchup and mayo, right?
I don't know. I thought it was the same.
I thought I know Thousand Island, like the relish makes sense because it has that texture.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay,
but
so wait.
yeah, so
I
something like that.
so let's not go into that. So tell us. I mean, a little surprised. So, how did that work? Did you just go up and say, did you try to order the individual patties or did you
Oh,
ask for the burger? So, you paid the $6 or whatever it cost instead of trying to just get the patties with the cheese or something.
I yeah. If I'm gonna do all that, if I'm getting patties and cheese, I'm trying to think what I might as well do instead. Like that's creating work. The whole reason that I want so I had a taste for hamburger, number one.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what I ate earlier today, which will be thing number two, but um, thing number two on the list of foods. Sorry. But I had a taste for hamburger, or a taste for cheeseburgers, I should say. It wasn't just the hamburger itself. If it was plain with nothing on it, I would not have wanted it. I
Hmm.
wanted cheese on it too. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, I've never actually tried going to a fast food place and just asking for patties and cheese. I also, in a lot of places, like I've done the bunless burgers from McDonald's, like
Hmm.
give me a double quarter pounder with no cheese, or just a double cheeseburger. I'm sorry, not no cheese, no bun, or a double cheeseburger, no bun. And they always end up. It feels like they put extra lettuce on it when they do that. So
Hmm.
then I get this like soggy lettuce all over it. I don't want that. But I do this
I
so
don't want
rarely,
these stinking vegetables messing up my burger.
especially lettuce. Lettuce is such a worthless. It's just a vehicle for other things. It's like bread, but worse. At least like bread and its terrible healthiness, like at least kind of tastes good. Th- Lettuce, lettuce is terrible.
Okay.
Lettuce is the chicken of the vegetable world. No, nobody ever just wants. Actually, no, it's worse because sometimes people just want chicken and they just want chicken with no added things to it. Nobody eats lettuce by itself except for like gorillas.
And bunnies. Don't forget
Yeah,
bunnies.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay, so you asked them for, so you went ahead and you ordered like the actual sandwich that costs so much money now. I don't know why we used to think of fast food as cheap. It's not cheap.
it's not anymore. Yeah, because
It's
this
cheaper
thing,
to go to the grocery store.
yeah, super. And I mean, I'm not gonna act like I wasn't kicking myself on the way back. Like I just spent $9 on at most like a half pound of meat, and
Yeah.
that $9, even for if I had spent that $9 and it was just for 1 pound, it would have been so much better. And
Yeah,
also,
so
I have steak
you
in my
bought
fridge.
meat at $18 a pound at McDonald's. So now, when I go to the grocery store, like that's how much ribeye costs. So you're spending quite a bit of money at McDonald's. Like hopefully
Oh
they'll
yeah,
start stocking ribeyes just for us, for us carnivores.
dude, the ribeyes at McDonald's are gonna be at least $50 a pound.
Well, they have to fit in a certain price point. So, you'll get like
It'll
three.
it'll be
You'll
that
get
big,
three ribeye niblets for,
right?
you know,
Yeah,
since you're not getting it with the potatoes and whatnot, you'll get the three little niblets that,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's how
Okay.
that's gonna work. So yeah, I paid for convenience, very much so.
Yeah.
I paid for convenience. I paid for a certain taste that I wanted, and I got it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy with it, but I'm surely not happy with the price of it. And yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember everything has gotten expensive, but especially I feel like Burger King has gotten so much more expensive than it was
Mm-hmm.
just relatively when I was like, say, like 15 or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, in my before days, before I stopped having dairy, I had the Baconator at Wendy's and without a
Mm,
bun, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is amazing!" Like it's
mm.
kind of a pain, hand wise. Like the bun is like a good way to hold food without getting it all over your hands. But other than that, it's okay.
Right.
So yeah.
So what I end up doing is I, especially these burgers that have bacon on them, I find or I make a spot in between the pieces of bacon and I jab a fork in there, and
Hmm.
then I pick the thing up off the fork, and the fork's like just barely holding it, like it's about to slide off the fork any second. But you angle it right so that gravity's helping you, and you take a couple bites. You try not to pull all the bacon off because there's nothing holding the bacon because I don't want to get
Yeah.
sauce and fat and whatever all over my hands.
Yeah.
It's a process, but I've learned to make it work.
Good. All right, good. Excellent. So there you have it, folks. If you are following the carnivore diet and you want some convenience or you want that familiar taste or you just want the experience of, fast food, it is possible. You can go and do that and yeah, knock yourself out. Do you think how do you think you would feel? Let's say if you did this 3 or 4 nights a week.
Oh, I doubt I would feel as good. Um,
Okay.
like even now, I know that there's a reason that eating this one burger, well, granted, two patties, but I'm full kind of like gross feeling. But eating food I cooked myself, that doesn't normally happen. So I
Huh.
don't know if that's a ground beef thing or if that's a fast food thing or possibly both of them together. Because I think
Right.
we've talked about this. Like ground beef
Right.
lately has kind of left me feeling sick if I eat it till I'm full.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Hmm. Well, that's interesting to know. We'll find out, I guess. Yeah.
So, well, not about the 3 4 days. I'm not. There's no way. One, just on price, I wouldn't want to do that, and two, I'd probably feel really sluggish if I
Mhm.
tried to eat like this all the time. Like, in fact,
Mhm.
yeah, when I was in Tennessee, I had to eat out way more than I wanted to, and it got to the point where like I was kind of dreading getting hungry because I knew like I was going to have to make some other compromise that I really didn't want to make,
Mhm. Yeah.
and that I was going to feel that compromise.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. Well, now you know you can do it. It doesn't have to be all the time, but it is possible, and and you can feel probably fine. Pat Jacobs said, well, first of all, hey, everybody who is here in the chat, welcome. Thank you so much. DC, I'm so glad you caught the live. I know a lot of times people are like, oh, I never make it, but you made it. And Kim also. So glad you guys are here live. Pat Jacobs says, I order a burger bowl from Five Guys with bacon and cheese in a box, and it was good. So, yeah, that could be an option too.
Yeah, that sounds
So,
good.
yeah. So Chase Lewis says probably a fast food thing. Lots of industrial oils used. So yeah, I mean for sure there's industrial oils all over the place. And but at McDonald's they're supposed to, or at Burger King they're supposed to be grilling these burgers. So the burger itself is not being cooked in fat, but that's not to say there isn't, you know, these industrial oils all over the kitchen,
Yeah,
and perhaps on the grill too. So it's not to say that you're not coming in contact with any of it. And then of course the American cheese that is included. I don't know what's in it. I'm not sure exactly what is American cheese, and I would I would be
go
surprised
ahead,
if
A. Get on your cheese soapbox. Go ahead.
I'm
I,
talking about American cheese. I feel
yeah,
like, there might be, that itself might not be a great option. So if you had some cheddar cheese that you got at the grocery store or whatever, I don't know. But yeah,
right. And that, like, as soon as you take the American cheese off the table, I don't even want a cheeseburger.
well, that's true. Uh-oh, we're tempting Kim. She says this is making me want a bunless burger like a carnivore treat just to have once in a while. Well, it's important to know what your options are. So it's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And that's,
you're generally healthy and well, so it's good to know that you can do things that are a little bit different, and it's not the end of the world.
yeah. And it's like we talked about with our, that video we did a few months back about like carnivore convenience foods or something. Like,
Hmm.
eating out is one of them. Fast food is one of them. It's going to be tough. You're probably going to compromise in one place or another. Um, and it's not something you want to do on a regular basis. You don't want to do that all the time. Like even that burger bowl from Five Guys. I think for them, I don't know what they cook their burgers in because I'm pretty sure they cook them on a stovetop.
Hmm.
Like I don't think they're grilling, but just on price alone, if nothing else, that would be the problem there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the fast food really only works, for us if you can get the patties, a la carte and just
Hmm.
pay $1, or $1 or so per patty. But if you're just buying the regular thing and you're taking off the bun and all the other stuff, like it's not enough, and it's not gonna do it.
Yep. That's like my sauce
Mhm.
probably still has seed oils in it, which
Oh, for sure.
yeah, like
Hmm.
that stacker sauce definitely is going to be based on probably soy oil.
Hmm. Yeah. So Betsy Durham says, "Hi from England. I'm wanting to try a kebab without the pita bread." Yeah, absolutely. So the only thing with so when I was in Amsterdam, like shawarma was a big thing too. And the thing that you had to be concerned about was, that meat that's on that spit that goes around and around and they slice it off.
Hmm.
A lot of times that meat itself is it's already been ground up and had breading and other stuff put in and spices put in, and then it's put on the spit and it's cooked. And so you're not actually just getting some pieces of meat, you're getting like, uh, ground beef that's mixed with breading and other stuff. So that's not great. But if you can get like a kebab where it's really just the chunks of meat on a stick, that's great.
That would explain. Um, hmm. That would explain why. Like, so I really love gyro meat, but it definitely doesn't. Come to think of it, like it kind of tastes like really good meatballs.
Hmm.
Like, there's all those spices, and it doesn't really have the texture of any other sort of ground meat that I've had. And even I've had like finely ground beef. It that
Hmm.
texture is different.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now you
And it
know.
ruins everything. That's the name of
I,
this show.
I didn't ruin it. I didn't ruin it. I love gyro too. I love shawarma. I love all that stuff. I love meat in any way that it's cooked from around the world, whatever spices and however they do it. I have not fish. I don't like fish. But,
Yeah.
however you do lamb or beef, all my life, I have loved it from around the world. However you do it, I love it. But, that was a real bummer for me. But, the kebabs are really good. So, I felt satisfied. And there was a place that I was going to that would give us lamb short ribs. And it
Mm.
didn't, I mean, of course, like every animal, you're going to have the same cuts in every animal, but it didn't occur to me that like lamb have um ribs. I don't think I've ever gotten like a rack of lamb ribs, but they were so fatty and so good. So on a kebab, no less. So it was
Mm.
like, okay, yeah, I'll take a ton of these.
Good stuff.
And when you go and order them on their own, a lot of times, like if it's like a Greek or, whatever kind of place, like they'll work with you on that. If you're not getting the rice and all the other stuff, they look at you a little crazy, but they're like, okay, yeah, sure.
Nice.
Kim asks, is anyone else here a hyper carnivore, meaning that your diet isn't 100% meat only? Like your diet is 70 to 95% carnivore, and how is that working for you? So, Arian, yeah, tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us how that is.
Yeah. So I'm like just about completely carnivore most days, and then people who've been watching a while know that I'll have dinner at my mom's, or I say my mom's because she cooks it, but it's dinner at my parents' just about every Sunday, and she's not carnivore at all. So I eat less of the vegetables and other things, but I do eat basically everything that she cooks. I don't eat cornbread because I'm grown now and I don't have to eat cornbread anymore. And it was like I forced my way through it for so long, and now I don't, and I'm not going to. Every time I say, you know what, just give this a try. Nope, just as bad as I always thought it was.
Dry and
Yeah,
tasteless, yeah.
right. And my parents, they don't make sweet cornbread, and that would, to me, like that's
Um,
for most people, that's the way they like cornbread, and that's exactly what my parents don't do.
yeah, yeah, that's the problem.
You're right. So, um, yeah, I'd say I'm there in actually, I think the way some people would describe it is that the hyper carnivores are the ones who really are like 100% meat or very very close to it. And
Well, the biological definition of hypercarnivore is any animal that eats um, 70% or more of their daily diet from the animal kingdom. So technically, if you're clean keto, you're hypercarnivore. So we're
yeah,
all in that category, even though we have a range of what we're doing.
right,
But you do eat plant food during the week, and so I think this is helpful to hear. Like you sort of concentrate it to that one day, right?
yeah, mostly. Every if I'm out um, and I order something and it comes with fries, I may eat a couple of those before I get bored. Um, and for the most part, it doesn't bother me. I think sometimes after a Sunday dinner, I'll be sluggish that night. I'll feel that, and then I know like the next day, like I gotta go back to meat. Like
Hmm.
it's not even that like I'm forcing myself. I want to go back to meat. I want none
Hmm.
of what I had the other day, or I only want the meat
Hmm.
leftovers.
Yeah. Well, over the summer, there was that event that I think her handle on Instagram is Sustainable Dish, but She's Diana Rogers, who wrote The Sacred Cow, that book.
Hmm.
But she had put together an event and gotten a local butcher to, provide food and everything. But the local butcher had made this sausage that was a mix of, well, at first I didn't want it because it was pink. And it was made with beets, but I didn't understand that it was like a mix of beets with pork. So eventually, once I came to understand that, I was like, okay, let me try this. And, even though I'm a carnivore, it's like, oh, there's beets in it and other celery and other vegetables. And I ate it, and, I could absolutely taste the beet, taste the celery. And, it was fine, I think, if you're a regular person. But once you've started eating meat, like, didn't really hold any appeal for me. I mean, I never really liked beets. And so you add this and it's just like, ugh, there's just nothing pleasant about this except the color. I like the color. I love pink things. So that was about it. But they had some other sausages there that were just all meat that were delicious. So, no.
Nice. I love hearing you try to not be mean to this sausage. It was fine. Like, question mark, is that the correct word? Does that I don't want to endorse it, but I don't want to be a jerk about it either.
Yeah. I mean, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? It's free
Right.
food.
Yeah.
I did
But
offer
meat
some to
though,
Ruby, and she wouldn't eat it. So I was like, oh. Now, admittedly, she was kind of nervous, and there was a lot of commotion going on. But I was like, huh,
mhm.
this doesn't bode well. Um, okay, DC says Bucky's brisket. Yeah, brisket is always a good yum, yum.
Mhm.
Kim says, I've been having issues on 100% meat only, been carnivore 112 days, but been having some physical health issues the last 2 months, so I'm thinking of incorporating some veggies. Not sure what the issues are, but remember, carnivore is, I mean, if you're thinking about meat as in muscle meat, then carnivore is more than that. I think it's important to get variety, not necessarily in the animal, but in the type of food that you're eating. So, not just muscle meat, but also organ meat and connective tissue and fat and eggs and, like all the different kinds of stuff. And that will give you better variety. So if I mean, I hear some people say, I'm doing, meat only, and they're really eating like a ribeye every day. Like, that's not actually great. Like, you want to mix it up more.
Yeah, for some people that ends up being real helpful. I would say, without knowing what the issues are, it's really hard to just say whether vegetables would help or not or are needed. And then there's a lot of times
Hmm.
where you can do a thing and it solves the symptom, but it didn't actually solve the end problem. Like, I've seen people talk about, oh, I'm carnivore and I have a real hard problem with electrolytes. So then I ate some vegetables and they're fibrous vegetables, like they're carbs. And now I don't have electrolyte problems anymore. That doesn't mean that carnivore is bad. That means that you were somehow doing carnivore in a way where you were probably, what's the word? You were diluting your blood so much. And that's why you had electrolyte problems. You
Hmm.
got some carbs and that made you hold water. So now you're holding electrolytes and you feel better, but you didn't actually solve the problem. And carnivore was not the problem.
Hmm. Well,
So,
the carbs makes you retain water a bit. So if you add a little, that'll keep you from, releasing as much. So, and then you don't need as much. So just, yeah, like what you're saying, like that can, it can affect how much electrolytes you need when you add some. So that does make sense.
yeah. So I'm
Hmm.
always like, I mean, I'm not 100% carnivore. I don't, in principle, I don't have a problem with a person incorporating vegetables into what they eat. And in principle, everybody can do whatever they feel like doing, obviously.
Hmm.
But I would really, I would encourage you to try to get to the bottom of those issues,
Hmm.
um, as opposed to just putting the band-aid of vegetables on them.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I also find sometimes people get to that stage where, it's like 3 months in and you've lost your taste for vegetables, but you still can't wrap your head around like just eating meat, or just eating from the animal kingdom. And so it's just kind of like, maybe a desire for carby stuff without really wanting that or enjoying it if you do have it. So so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. Did you go through a stage where it took, like before you had really kind of flipped your mindset around to like, yeah, I'm just eating meat.
For me, that was early
Mhm.
because I had kind of fallen into it, and then like in my second week, I decided like, all right, I gotta look this up. I gotta see if this is healthy. So I did that then, and luckily, I found some real like common sense carnivore influencers who just
Mhm.
ate really basic. They weren't supplementing a bunch of stuff. They weren't worried about, oh, what's going to happen if my magnesium is a little low or something. Like they were just
Mhm.
eat meat, you'll be fine. That will solve 90% of your problems, if not all of them.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I went from there. So I wasn't too nervous about just eating meat because I had that
Mhm.
education pretty early on.
Mhm. I mean, I think I missed early on, I missed different textures and different flavors. And at that point in time, I wasn't as adventurous a cook, So, like making, well, getting beef fat trimmings or frying up pork skin and like making pork rinds or having that texture. Like I wasn't doing all of those things that I think would have helped me feel like I was getting more variety. I was doing a lot of bacon and, cheeseburgers and well, yeah, burgers basically. I still, even at that point, I still wasn't very good at making a steak. So I had a very small repertoire. And so, that could also be part of it. But I see Kim says I lost hearing in my right ear in the second month, and then I ate a piece of beef membrane from raw suet, and I had a really bad reaction from that. Um, so that makes me wonder if you aren't having histamine problems and, hearing, I mean, hearing problems can also be from like inflammation in there. So,
Mm,
makes me wonder about that. But I'm glad you got your hearing back and, you're
yeah.
working with your doctor, just kind of keep working on that. But like, carnivore is super, super anti-inflammatory. So that can be a really awesome thing and that can help a lot.
And what is a beef membrane from raw suet? One, why are you eating raw suet? Like, I get that you try some stuff, but maybe try something a little safer than that
Hmm.
because you had a bad reaction to. I'm still confused on the membrane part too. What is a if you had
I don't know.
suet?
There's
What
sticky stuff.
membrane would be in there?
I don't know. There's like sticky, tendony kind of stuff in it that like,
Mm,
it's not the fat, it's some substance. Like I assume that's what she means.
okay.
Um, but organs tend to have more histamines in general. So it could
Oh,
be that, it just was an older piece and, that was that.
that makes
So
sense.
yeah. So, it might be that you have to make more of an effort to eat really freshly killed and, fresh meat, more so than other people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, she did cook it.
Mm.
Oh, good. I mean, even though our old friend Deborah, she eats raw suet sometimes.
She loves
But
that stuff. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, she pops it
Uh,
like popcorn. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
not doing it.
Yeah.
I will
Well,
eat raw marrow though.
raw marrow.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. I've tried it, but I decided not to keep eating it that way. But Melanated Meatfield Mama says, I felt I needed fermented veggies after a round of antibiotics. I had a bad ear infection and hearing was limited too. Better now, but meat, fermented veggies, and pro and prebiotic is what I did. Um, so yeah, I mean, antibiotics will throw things off. So, it
Yes.
may be that, you need to take a special effort to repopulate the gut. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
Just in general, stay away from antibiotics as much as you can.
hmm
If they're needed to
yeah.
cure an infection, okay, but be careful. Like I know somebody that had I guess we don't want to say the C word, but so I'll say this: they had the pandemic, the thing,
Oh,
the
right.
virus,
I was like,
and
what C word is he talking about? There's so many that
right,
I
well,
would not want said on this show.
definitely not the awful one. Well, geez, there's actually a couple for body parts. Anyway, let's just move on from that altogether. So, um, anyway, they had the virus, and their doctor was gonna put them on antibiotics. And I thought, but
hmm
it's a virus. Why would we do that? I know
hmm
that. That's basic.
hmm Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to, for my sinus infections, get it. And, I don't know. I never felt like the antibiotics helped. And yeah, it was not
Mhm.
good. Okay. So DC asked if anyone else is avoiding pork. Not really. I just don't have it very often. I don't care for it all that much.
Yeah, I'm not actively avoiding it. I just am actively getting other things that I
Yeah.
like so much better than pork. I have
Yeah.
bacon, I have sausage. I eat those with breakfast sometimes if I'm having eggs, and that's pretty much the only time I ever have pork.
Yeah. Okay, Leonard says just finished air fried beef fat and air fried beef ribs, so I'm good right now. Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. And Hope I Get There has lost 90 pounds in 9 months. I think you got there.
Good job.
You're there? I mean, that's amazing. Or 100 pounds, yeah. And and Hope I Get There is taking essential amino acids in mega doses. I don't know what that means. So, what are essential amino acids? Um,
So that's going to be the ones that we can't manufacture. Our bodies can't make. If it's essential, that's what that means. You're taking
mhm,
mega doses of them, but you're carnivore, so eating meat, you're going to get all the amino acids that an animal such as yourself needs. I don't see any reason, with the limited knowledge I have, I don't see any reason for you to take those. Maybe there's some background for your
mhm.
health that I don't know about.
Yeah. I don't know if you're I don't know, very big and doing a lot of heavy weightlifting, but yeah, you should be able to, get all the protein you need, certainly from eating meat, not
Mhm.
protein powder or anything else like that. Okay, so let's get back to so you ate so for this week your top picks were the fast food burger.
Right.
What else did you have this week?
So I took your advice, and I took one of the. Well, actually, I've done it twice now. The rib roast that I have, and
Uh-huh.
I cut the ribs off and then cut them into steaks, and I've been eating those, and
Wow.
they're super satisfying. I took too long cooking the ribs on the first one, so I had to throw those away. They'd gone bad in my fridge.
Wait. Oh my God. You a whole rib roast went bad in your fridge because you didn't
No,
cook
no,
it in
no,
time.
no, the rib. So I took,
Okay.
you know how the rib roast has the, two or three bones on the bottom. So I
Mm-hmm.
cut those off because I'm not dealing with that, and I
Oh,
just then the rest of it I'm cutting into steaks. So I'm eating ribeyes.
okay.
Um, but then I have that rib, and it's got the meat in between the bones. So my plan was to like slow cook that or something,
Oh,
and
I see.
just I took too long. So that part went bad. There's not much meat there anyway, so I didn't feel too bad about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
Uh,
those homemade ribeyes, oh, so good.
yeah.
They're so good.
So how do you just pan fry, or how do you cook your steaks?
Mostly pan frying
Uh-huh.
because so this week I've been air frying for like 5 minutes or so. Like I still want them pretty like medium rare, um,
Mhm.
but I don't want them blue. And when I was
Mhm.
cooking them, well, I was pan frying all last week, and a few of those ended up blue, like even like cool to the touch on the inside, and that was less done than I wanted.
Mhm.
So I ended up like cutting the steak into strips and then throwing those back in the pan, and then it ends up a little more cooked than I wanted. So I'm trying a different route with this one.
Mhm. Okay. Nice. All right. And what else? What else did you eat?
The third thing that I've eaten, it's been mostly the ribeyes, but I had just bacon and eggs.
Okay.
I did that twice this week, like Sunday morning and then like Monday or so. Like, yeah, like 5, 6 slices of bacon and two jumbo eggs, which wasn't enough to fill me up, but I was just satisfied. And it was a blasé meal. Like I wasn't excited to eat, and when I was done, I didn't feel like happy that I had had that food.
Mhm.
It was just
So how are do you eat multiple times a day? What does that look like for you?
yeah. So my first meal is going to be lately anywhere from like 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So my eating window has moved up a little bit as far as first meal, and then second meal is going to happen sometime from 3 to 7 ish. So yeah, so still it's always 2 meals a day, separated by a decent amount of time. There's been I think 1 or 2 days this week where I've actually eaten 3 times in a day. Like I've been super hungry, and I find that I can eat more of the steak than I can other things.
Mm, that's interesting.
Yeah, like it's not cooked nearly as much as I'm gonna cook any ground beef, so I know that that's part of it. Uh, because I'm not cooking it as much, it still has a lot of the water content that the regular fresh meat
Mhm.
has that it starts with. So it doesn't
Mhm.
feel as heavy on my stomach, and maybe that's part of why I can eat more too.
Mhm. So you can eat more of the steak, and you're thinking it has to do with some of the water content. Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So that sounds like an amazing week of eating, and lucky you. And everybody who's watching, first of all, can you hit the like button? There's a lot of people in here, but not that many likes, and we need the likes in order for the algorithm gods to bless us. And also, I'd love to hear from everybody watching how many meals you guys are eating in a day, and yeah, let's hear it. So this morning, I should have made a video, but this morning I made a sirloin roast, and it turned out amazing.
Hmm.
It took longer than I was expecting because I think it was still a little frozen inside. So, which is not the preferred way to go about cooking these things. Um, so I ended up having to leave it in the oven twice as long for it to rise to the temperature that it was supposed to. Um, but other than that, I had browned it before on all sides on the stove top, and I put some butter on it and put it in the oven, and yeah, so it was good. It
Nice.
was very good. Yeah.
A sirloin roast.
So if you, Mhm.
I don't know that I've seen one of those lately.
It was on sale, so that was why I bought it.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that sounds good.
So, It was good. It was good. I've definitely been eating a lot of roast lately, which I like. I mean, I have had some ground beef this week, and I do feel a little bit like I'm missing it. It's been a while since I've had it, but I like the ground beef. I mean, I like the roast. I do. I don't know, maybe a little bit better than ground
Yeah,
meat. Yeah.
I still am rolling with the theory that as the meat is closest to its natural form, like cut straight off
Hmm.
the animal, that it's either better for you or our body is better able to recognize it, process it. Um, Something is different because yeah, I totally feel the difference in my
Hmm.
own taste between
Hmm.
ground beef and a roast or a steak.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay, Mommy Does Keto, welcome. Glad you are here. Okay, so Douglas does 1 to 2 meals a day. DC may have gotten the wrong beef bacon and is not a fan. Oh, that's a bummer. I
Yeah,
love beef bacon. Frankly, I like it more than pork bacon now.
totally.
Um, yeah.
Try some other kinds.
Hmm. Yeah, from other brands. Hope I Get There says 1 to 2 times a day. Oh, once to 2 times a day. Glenda says OMAD. R. Jones twice a day. Yeah, so that's pretty common. Terry Carver says enjoying ground beef and ribeyes, eggs, bacon, sausage, and Polish sausage. I'm 98% carnivore now. I'm beginning to love it. Eating 2 to 3 meals a day, stay pretty full, and have to make myself eat.
Hmm,
All right. So,
nice.
yeah, you sound like you are just, this is just working out for you, and I love it. I love to hear that.
It especially when you start feeling the differences, like your energy feels good
Hmm.
and your mind is clear, you're less stressed, and you can't figure out why, and you go, it's got to be the food. It's got to be this carnivore stuff. That's a great feeling.
Hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Hope I Get There. Straight meat, no seasoning, distilled water with stevia and lemon. Okay. And then DC says eat once or twice daily, but have a fat coffee as well, every day. Oh my gosh. So me and this coffee thing. So been on and off again. On
Oh
and
no.
off. So for the last, I don't know, a couple of days or a week, and I've been mixing in butter with it too. Oh, so good, but so bad. But I do better without the coffee. I just do in all ways. So once again, I'm off, and this is it for good. No more. It's over. It's out of my
Y'all
life.
heard that.
Yeah.
All y'all heard it. She said,
Hmm.
for good, no more.
Hmm. Actually, I took a bunch of mugs out of my cupboard, and I'm going to put them as soon as it stops raining, snowing, or whatever. Put them out and let people take them. I took the coffee machine off of the counter, and I am going to sell it. And it is over. It is over.
So, what are you feeling that makes you say this was a bad idea? Coffee's got to go again.
Hmm. I think it makes me eat more. It makes me more anxious. It makes me more hungry, or yeah, like all of those things. So
Mm.
it's not innocuous, but I keep thinking it's just coffee. Like, it's a problem, but it is. It just is. So
Yeah,
I don't
it's a
know.
difference.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I've gone back to. I've had coffee probably like 5 out of the last 7 days or so. Um, 1 cup, usually 6 ounces. I think today was 8, but normally I keep it like exactly at 6
Hmm.
black. And I haven't noticed much of a problem, except come to think of it today, my skin's a little drier than normal.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Okay.
that would be dehydration from the coffee.
DC says no more coffee. No. Yes. Yes. Yes, it's okay. It's good. It's good. Um, so Kim, it sounds like you're struggling a bit. You had that great feeling the first 50 days on carnivore, but it's been downhill for the last half of your carnivore journey due to the issues. I've been 3 months in and giving it another 3 months. Um, yeah, so wow. Sounds like there's definitely some specific stuff going on. And I do remember how Amber O'Hearn has talked about like having gotten, I think she got I want to say salmonella or something like that, and that really messed up her gut for a good long time, and she had a lot of problems, a lot of problems. So I'm, definitely curious. Like there are things that can happen that that make it a problem or make a struggle. So love to touch base with you more, Kim, and hear more about what's going on. Maybe
Yeah,
on Instagram. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Please reach out because I'd hate for somebody to get right there, like so close to what I'm gonna say is the rest of their life, the good rest of their life, and then
Mm-hmm.
some setback stops them. And
Yeah. And then, oxalates too is a whole deal in and of itself. And that can cause, you can feel great, in the beginning. And then as your body starts dumping them, start feeling terrible again. So that's a whole other thing to consider. And, the oxalates can cause all kinds of problems, that are different from person to person. So, um, you know, it's possible that's the deal as well.
yeah,
So, and the kind of the solution there is to slow down the dumping, and also take more calcium so that it binds to the oxalates so that you can excrete it without getting so sick.
hmm
um
yeah.
let's see,
There's a lot of things that could be the problem.
yeah, yeah. Meat based musing says caffeine is a drug. I am still off caffeine, but coffee smells so good. I'm right there with you. It does smell so good. It does. It does. And Glenda says, I love fat coffee. I'm with you also. That's the problem. That is the problem. Okay, Leonard says, hey, Leonard, it's good to see you. I go to the gym every other morning before work. Do you think that I should still fast on my gym days? Um, I don't know. Like people always say, you're supposed to get some. You've got to get in protein, in some number of hours after working out. So, if you're going every other day and you want to fast every other day, it might be good to fast on your non-workout days. I don't know.
Yeah, uh, I wish I remembered what the number was because I know the exact concept you're talking about. Like your body, your muscles need to rebuild after working out, and there's some window of time where you need protein, and like after that, eating protein has no effect on muscle synthesis. But
Well,
before,
there's not agreement about how long that window is. So some people are
yeah,
drinking their protein shake in the gym while they're working out, and then other people say it just as long as your next meal has a good amount of protein, you're fine. It doesn't need to be like within an hour or 2 hours, but it just needs to be within like your next meal. So if you're
mhm.
working out in the morning, by lunch you need to have whatever.
And maybe that's a place where you can listen to your body.
Hmm.
Like after you work out, do you really want to eat, or maybe
Hmm.
not? I know when I was working out, I was starving for meat after a workout.
Hmm. And I never want to work out with food in my stomach. It makes me feel sick
Oh
to
yeah,
have things sloshing around in there. So I'm always fasted going into a workout.
yeah. It's coming out that I want to eat. Coming in, I don't. Yeah, I don't like. I like feeling light.
Hmm. Yeah. So, anything else that you like to make regularly? Have you done shopping for this week, or is your freezer full of stuff? What's on tap?
Oh, the freezer's so full. I haven't needed to buy anything. Um, did I? Was that was on here, right? That I told you about getting the like buying all the roasts that the store had because they were on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so since then, I haven't needed to buy anything. No, um, it's all been really easy. I think I ended up with some hot dogs from, they were extras from the food pantry I work at, and I ate a pack of those like it was nothing. Like they were chicken and pork hot dogs, and I could easily,
Oh, chicken
right,
and pork.
because I guess beef's a bad idea supposedly.
Yeah.
Um, but like I could easily eat three of those and
Hmm.
kind of be okay for a while, but it doesn't feel like I ate.
Hmm.
So
Well,
I'm
I did get a package from Carnivore Chris this week. So, plug, let me give you all my code, but you can use Black Carnivore, and if you're ordering for the first time, you get 10% off your order. But I got an order this week, and man, I just, like I just dive right in, and before I know it, they're all gone. So I don't know. I'm not good with snack food, but it's good. It's good. I definitely like the chicken skins.
and that's what these were, chicken skins.
Well, it was a different, a bunch of stuff. So brisket,
Hmm.
chicken skin, ribeye, and liver. They gave me a big liver, so that was cool.
Okay.
So the
So
liver I don't like so much, but Ruby likes it, and she ran out of snacks, so we're good.
good. That was going to be my question. Does the
Hmm.
liver taste better when it's dried and all that?
No, tastes still smells tastes like
Still
liver.
liver.
Yeah, it's
You
still
know,
liver.
I had a person on Reddit like basically evangelize to me about um, getting like high end grass fed liver and how much better that tastes. And I don't believe it. I think it's still gonna taste like liver.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's liver. It is what it is. So I don't
Right.
know. Kim says they have Wagyu beef frankfurters on sale at my grocery store. Why are you here? You should be moving already right now to the grocery store. Like,
Right.
stop wasting time here. Go get
That,
them. Of course. Why? Yes, yes.
should you try them? Yes, you should try everything.
Yes, especially that. If I, I mean, I would love to try Wagyu, anything. You see those cuts of those that beef, and it's like, oh my God,
Oh, dude.
how do they even walk around? It's like they're all fat. There's like barely any
I
muscle in there.
and it's so frustrating seeing like a wagyu steak that like looks like pink because there's so much white in the meat. There's so much
Hmm.
fat, just little pockets of fat all over in between the fibers. It doesn't even
Hmm.
look like steak almost. It looks fake. There's so much fat in there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it kind of looks like short ribs because when you look at the short ribs, like they look just like that, there's that much modeling of with the fat and the protein fibers. So yeah.
Well, you getting some different kind of short ribs than I normally get.
Well, if you slice them open and look at them, you can see that. Because I have tried in the past. So when I first got the air fryer, trying to see different ways to cook things. So I got short ribs and I tried to slice them really, 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 really thin and fry them in the air fryer. So don't do that. It was not ideal. It did not work out well.
But they
But
come out tough.
yeah, just tough and weird. It wasn't, you know, there was no pleasant aspect of it. Like all the things that you like about short ribs didn't have when it was air fried. So I don't recommend it.
Hmm, that
But
sucks.
looking at it, it did definitely look like when you see that Wagyu beef. But excuse me. But that's because the ribs are so fatty. But that's the only spot that you're going to see that.
So you
Yeah.
must have been cutting like across them, like flank and cut.
No, I had the English cut short ribs, and that's what I was slicing, and I was slicing with the bone, like in that direction.
Huh.
Hmm.
Okay. I gotta try
Maybe
that.
it was just a good. I don't know. No, don't. I told you that
No.
was
Well,
bad. It did not work
oh
out
no.
well. Don't do
Just
that.
just just one slice. I'll sacrifice one slice. I just want to see if it
Okay.
looks like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Okay, so Kim was saying, "Oh, wanted to try the carnivore crisp." Definitely, definitely. And Terry was going to ask about the chicken skins. So the chicken skins are, I love chicken skin, period. So it's amazing. But with carnivore crisps, I think like every other batch I get, like the skins are crispy and then they're not crispy. They're crispy and then they're not crispy. They
Mm,
taste great either way, but if you're really looking for that crispy crunch, sometimes it doesn't happen. But, I don't know. But if you can get a bag of skins, which I am told there are different places, different markets that sell just the skin, yeah, get them and make tons of chicken skin. Oh my God, I would eat that all the time. Yeah.
yeah. And if you know, I know it's a Filipino thing. I don't know if how many other cultures do it, but there are places where you can buy fried chicken skins, like already cooked.
Yeah, man, I wish. Um, but definitely there are brands now where you can go, like people are ordering the stuff off of Amazon where it's fried chicken skin and it's like a potato chip substitute, I guess. I don't know. So
Hmm.
you have to be careful with those because sometimes they use sunflower oil or safflower oil
Uh,
to fry them. And then
yep.
other times they also include some kind of flour. So you got to look at the ingredients and then make a decision. But the carnivore Chris does it, and hopefully more companies will pick that up. Hmm.
That'd be nice. Yeah, because I want to try some.
Hmm. Terry's son is a chef and told her he'd bring some. So that sounds amazing. Yeah, definitely do that. So I think we got some good ideas here for meals. So I don't know if you saw the show last week, Arian, but I wonder how like what you're doing kind of differs from what I do, and what you think about that. Like, do you cook things fresh every day, or do you do more like big batch and then you reheat things from day to day?
It depends on the thing. So if we're talking about a roast, I'm gonna cook it all at once, and then, well, before last week, I'm gonna cook it all at once, and I'm gonna eat off that for days and days. Now,
Hmm.
though, because I'm cutting these roasts into steaks, I'm cooking them right then, like right
Hmm.
before and that's because as a steak, it only takes about less than 5 minutes to get done.
Hmm.
Um, to the level that I'm going to eat it. If you're eating, that shoe leather well done steak, it's going to take a little longer. But you got to dig a little bit at the well done people. I have to. Um,
Uh-huh. I'm a well
so
done person. I get it. I
you
get
still
it.
eat well done?
Uh, medium well. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
up there between medium and well done. I would like to be right in there.
Okay. So yeah, that's that
Hmm.
like thin strip of pink. Um, so yeah, if it's steak, I'm gonna cook it right then. If it's ground beef, I'm probably going to cook all of it. So it depends on the thing itself. If it's quick to cook, I don't mind cooking every time I eat. The only time I'm not going to do that is if it's like a pound of ground beef that I haven't made into hamburgers or something like I
Hmm.
don't feel like browning ground beef every time I feel like eating. That's more work than I feel like doing. So I'm going to do it once and then eat off of it for the next 2 3 meals.
Hmm.
Um, but if it's small enough that I can cook it as I eat, I'd love doing that.
Hmm.
So what
Okay.
were the things that you named in your what you ate in a day?
Well, my chuck chunks.
Hmm.
Um, my meatballs, and and what else did I talk about? Eggs, I think I'm sure I talked about scrambled eggs and bacon. Um, Oxtails. So most of what I talk about is, I cook. I actually don't like to eat leftovers anymore. Of course, now I'm being spoiled, being, home, and I like cooking, is easier. It's not, I don't have to carry things with me. But, you know, like meat after a day or so, it just kind of, I'm not interested in it. And I wonder if that's like a histamine thing as well.
Mm.
But I can't take it. I just can't do it. And so I've been eating like where, I prepare my meats like when I buy them and I break them up into, 1 pound increments and then put it in the freezer. So, everything that I take down is, I mean, it's as fresh as it was when I got to the grocery store. So I'm not, I just don't eat old things. So it like, it's really noticeable to me when I like make something and I have it in the refrigerator for more than like 24 hours, really.
Mm. The good thing about being carnivore is, for the most part, unless you're talking about a big steak or something, you're not going to. Most things don't last more than a day.
Hmm.
And even that big roast, what I'd rather do then is like cook all of it and then put it, like, I don't know, take half or something and freeze it.
Hmm.
Eat the rest of that at some other time.
Well, the I made that leg of lamb, and it was good. And then after like maybe 2 days, I was just kind of like, ugh. And so I put the rest of it in the freezer, and then I took some down the other day, and it was like, okay, this is okay. But I clearly could, it clearly is an issue to me. Like I should have made it and then divvied it up and already put most of it away in the freezer so
Mm.
that I wouldn't have had that reaction.
Oh, so you made it and it sat for a little bit and then you froze it?
Yeah, because I had it in the fridge thinking, okay, I'll eat off of this for like, 3 days and then I'll finish it. And, on day three, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I just can't, I cannot take another bite. And so, but 3 days, like, or, 48 hours to me is not long enough for, it to be considered bad or anything. So I was like, okay, let me just put it in the freezer and give myself a couple of days and to come back to it, or a week to come back to it. So that's what I did. But what I really should have done was immediately frozen, what I wasn't going to eat that day and the next morning, and then, froze the rest of it and just brought it down as I needed it. Because it was, yeah, I don't know.
You can taste the difference.
Hmm. It's not just a
Yeah,
taste, it's a feeling. It's how it makes me feel.
that makes sense that that could be
Hmm.
histamines. Um,
Hmm.
hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, Kim's laughing that you couldn't do this, and you said you couldn't do this, and we're talking about lamb. And I get it though, like especially because lamb has a really distinct flavor. So I can really
Hmm.
imagine being tired of that flavor after a few days.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I feel like beef tastes neutral. Lamb is not neutral.
Well, I think I wasn't tired of the flavor. I think it was the histamines. So, had I frozen it and then just kept bringing it down and eating it, I don't know that I would have felt that way. I think I could have finished it off in one go. But, because it was like 5 or 6 pounds. I mean, there was a bone in there. So, it was probably 3 pounds of meat at the end of the day. But, so I should have been able to finish that, in one go. But yeah, didn't work.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've got a leg of lamb in my freezer now, and I'm probably gonna have to freeze half of it after I cook it.
Yeah. But I did give the bone to my dog, who delighted. It kept her focused and occupied for a long time. There's a big bone in there. Yeah. So,
Yes.
Melanated Meat Fuel Mama says we need a big family what we eat and in a day video, please. Maybe I'm the only one who needs it. I think she's asking for everyone to share what they eat in a day. So that and I guess I that is still really needed. So I'm gonna try to do more of that. Well, I should have really recorded myself cooking the roast this morning, but I have another one, so I'll do it again this week.
And
But yeah, I think that would be helpful.
she may be talking about being trying to have a big carnivore family. How do you feed that many people carnivore?
Mm, mm,
I'm thinking a family of like at least five
yeah,
single teenagers who eat everything.
yeah.
Um, I feel like it's the same as what you do for one or two people, just scaled up. Like maybe instead of a roast, you're cooking two roasts, and you have a
Hmm.
huge crock pot instead of a smaller, medium sized one.
I hope I get there, says my son eats 8 pounds of ground beef in one sitting. I don't even know how that's possible, but wow, wow.
Good luck to you
Yeah,
in trying to keep that boy fed. 8 pounds of ground beef?
yeah. So Mandel asked how much ground meat for a meal is normal. That is not normal. That's not typical, I should say, Mandel.
Yeah.
So I would not recommend 8 pounds. Um, I do 8 ounces. Some people do a pound. It depends on how much you are going to eat in a day, how many meals you're going to have. So you really got to go off of your appetite and let that do it for you. But
Yeah, I
probably
go
not 8 pounds.
definitely not 8 pounds. Let's 8 ounces. Half pound to about a pound is as much as I'll eat in any one day, or any one sitting
Hmm.
for ground meat.
Yeah,
I can probably do a little more if we're talking about a steak.
yeah. So DC also freshly prefers freshly cooked food. So
Mm.
yeah. Okay. So Melanated Meat Fuel Mama says they're looking for sides. Yeah. So if people are
Um,
used to that, yeah, definitely.
say no. Tell them to get their own sides.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't see why. I mean, everybody would have to eat the same side, but why, you can't make a big pot of rice and then, everybody has that along with whatever the meat is that you're doing. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, okay, Antoine says I do a pound, but I think that's too much for me. A pound of ground beef.
Why?
Well, if you think it's, too much, then maybe it is. But, if you can eat it and you don't feel sick after, maybe it's maybe it's fine.
Yeah. Like a
Mhm.
pound doesn't sound like too much to me.
Uh-huh. Teresa, welcome. Oh my gosh, she just started carnivore from vegan this week. And
Nice.
she's been eating eggs, bacon, liver, hamburger meat, and shrimps and butter. That is amazing. So, how do you feel? What caused you to make that switch? And congratulations and welcome. So, you know, very glad you're here.
Yep. Welcome to the
R. Jones, yeah, welcome to the delicious side.
yes.
Yeah. R. Jones says, try a fattier blend of ground beef. Fat is filling. Yeah, there is that too. I did once get the 7327 ground beef. That doesn't even exist here in New York. So I didn't even know, I heard people talk about it, but I was like, this doesn't exist.
You heard
Yeah.
tales.
Hmm. Yeah.
Whispers
Oh,
on the
and
wind.
I was talking to Nina Teicholz, who wrote that book, The Big Fat Surprise, and she told me that she had wanted to get like different ratios of fat, and she had gone to a butcher and asked for 50% fat, and the butcher was like, "No, that's just not healthy. I won't do that." And she was like, "No, no, that's." I have the money. I'm asking. This is what I want. Like, you need to provide. The guy was like,
Right.
no, that's not healthy. I can't do that. I won't do that. So she had to go elsewhere, and she said it was amazing, when she finally got it, and like the fat, when ground beef is well ground and well prepared, it doesn't completely, liquefy, and so you get a really amazingly juicy fatty burger. And I was
Hmm.
like, wow, yeah. I
Okay.
gotta get me some of this 50/50, ground beef. Yeah. But that's the kind of thing where I probably should get some kind of, home meat grinder and grind that myself.
Actually, yeah. If you could just find trimmings,
Mm-hmm.
do that yourself.
Mm-hmm. So Mommy Does Keto says fried eggs are a good side, or shrimp, cheese, chicken wings, etc. Meat with a side of meat. Um, yeah, well, those things do sound great. I think if you're looking for carbs though, like the kids, maybe they won't accept that. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder,
Um,
you could, if a person wants, like, they just need something, if instead of fries you gave them pork rinds, would that
hmm,
satisfy the urge?
yeah. Wow. Okay. So I get it now. Melanated Meat Fuel Mama has taken her whole entire family of 8 people and made them all carnivore. That is really impressive, because most kids or most parents complain, oh, I can't make my kids do this, and, they're kids and blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of like, yeah, but you got to deal with the after effect of how they act after they've eaten, all of this stuff. So, like, maybe it is worth going through the headache of getting them off that stuff. I don't know. And I
Yeah.
posted earlier this week, I don't know if you saw the video. It was like a little girl, like, crying and really sobbing, like, I don't understand why I do these things. I just want waffles. I can't understand why I only want waffles. And, the mom was kind of like, I mean, I guess it was meant to be humorous, but I watched that thinking, this is so sad. I know this girl and what she's going to be like in 20 years.
Hmm.
And man, that is so awful. And she is, even at like 3, is begging for help, and says, I don't understand why this is happening. But it's like, we do know why it's happening. And,
Yeah. It's called
I,
sugar addiction. It starts early.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's definitely worth going through this process with the kids. So,
Yeah, they will be much better off for it, even if they don't stick to being like all the way carnivore. Like, I feel like the first step is, or maybe it's a half step, but like prioritizing meat. And the more you eat
hmm,
meat, the less space there's going to be for other things, and you're naturally going
hmm,
to be healthier. So I think that's
yeah,
awesome. Making the whole
yeah,
family carnivore, great.
yeah. Well, I see more and more people, kind of talking about sugar addiction. So I actually want to jump in here and make this offer. I sent out, or I'm trying to set up basically a support group for those of us who are doing carnivore who feel that they may be sugar addicts. And, as with any addiction, the best way out is abstinence, and also community and other people and support. So I just want to help us to get together and to give us, that support. Maybe you need an accountability partner who you will pledge your food to each day, or you need, like, I don't know, a WhatsApp group where you can just say, "Oh my God, I want this right now," and you'll have people who will write back, "No, don't do that. Remember why you don't want to do this." But I think that we need that support, because not everybody is a sugar addict. So I think it's important to make that distinction, and I've tried to speak about that regularly. There are people who can do carnivore, can eat a little sugar, and then it stops, and that's it. there's no further problem. But others of us, we have something that's off plan, and then like 3 weeks later, we're finally dragging ourselves back onto carnivore. So, if the latter sounds like you, then this is your tribe. Come. And so sign up. I'm gonna put a link in the description, but sign up and be part of the group. And so I'm going to use the woman whose interview we did on Tuesday co-authored a book with the man who I interviewed the week before about sugar addiction or food addiction, and setting up like your own community, your own little support group around the issue. And
Yeah.
so I'm just going to use the book as a structure and a guide to provide that support. And it's like a 12-week, program once a week. And, and we design it, we decide what we want, and we make it what it is. So if that is interesting to you, the link is I'll put it in the description on this video, but it's also in the description from Tuesday's video and the week before's video. So I encourage you, definitely, come on, because this sugar addiction is real, and it's not, people don't really give it credit, but it is real. And if you're struggling, there is support for you. All right?
It's
Yeah.
good stuff. Yeah, definitely check that out. Getting off sugar can be very difficult.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I saw that little girl crying, and I was like, "Oh man, I know exactly how she's feeling." I
Yeah.
said those words myself.
The number of parents that I see either reward their kids with sugar or they just pacify them with sugar. It's being on this side now where I understand a little bit of what's happening. I pick it up so quickly when I see it.
Yeah, man. And when I was in school, I don't feel like they did that, So I didn't get candy or sweets or anything in school. But now, like the teachers, like I've worked with some teachers, and they have like Skittles and all of these different like little candies that are used to reward certain things. And I'm like, oh my God, I would have been just so unhealthy. I would never even have made it out of high school. I would have been
And,
so unhealthy. But I would have got better
and,
grades. I tell you that.
and see, for me, like I don't know, we didn't do that. Um, so yeah, like I'm younger, but I'm not like I wasn't just in school a few years ago, and we didn't get rewarded with candy. It was new, and it was almost weird when a kid or when a teacher would do that. Like that
Hmm.
would be the special day. All right, so today I bought a couple packs of Starburst or something, and we're gonna do a pop quiz this way. I wanted to make it fun for you guys. It's a relaxed day. It was never a regular thing. Whereas like I know teachers now that have candy drawers because they're constantly giving away candy in their classes, and
Hmm.
it's one of their incentives. It's how they punish the kids and all that. Like it's a regular teaching tool.
I would have had much better grades. I really, but I wouldn't have made it out of high school. I would have been
Yeah,
so sick. Yeah.
better grades and worse health.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, so I think this has been a great conversation. I hope all of you who are watching, again, hit that like button, and click the little bell icon so you can get notified every time we go live. But I hope that that helps you get a better idea about how to do carnivore, what it looks like, what it looks like in a day, and get some more ideas for what to eat. And I am going back to doing the videos, so I'm not going to do probably not going to do a video every day like I was doing leading up to Christmas, but I will do some more of the cooking ones, and kind of just letting you know how I'm eating. But you let me know too what you would like to see. That because I'd like to try to make what the people want.
Right.
There are lots of questions that people have that I think, I've also enjoyed kind of trying to answer those questions and put them out there. So you let me know what you think and what you like. And yeah, so I will see all of you on Tuesday with our next interview. We're chugging along. We've got some great interviews coming up, so definitely be there. And yeah, and I'll see you in the social media platforms, all of them.
See you guys
Arian,
soon.
Arian's like, yeah, you won't see me anywhere. I'll see you when I see you.
I mean, hey, I'm on the socials sometimes, out in the carnivore streets a little bit.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
watch the videos.
All right. All right. Well, then I'll see you in these streets. All right, everybody, have a great one. I really enjoyed tonight. Thank you for being here, and we will talk soon. All right.
Bye.